This is the list of 10 reasons why you can get bad result on your exam. Maybe you're taking chemistry exam or mathematics exam or physics exam, and you get bad result. Uh, then this is the most common reason, the one that I learned over the years, the one that usually the students complain, my students complain after they get that result, then they're not happy with it, right? So this is the list. You can see it, or if you want to download this list on your handphone, you can scan this QR code. Yeah, scan this QR code. We are going to discuss the items in the list one by one. Explain also how to overcome the problem, and so that we reduce the probability that you will get bad result of the exam, right? Number one, the most common one, you don't understand the lesson that the lesson that your teacher explained in class, right? Um, your teacher explained something, you don't understand anything, or you understand something, but there are a lot of things you don't understand from her explanation, let's say, right? Then if you come to me, I can solve this problem for you easily because I have pattern, right? You have problem, you have questions, and I can give you the pattern, then you can just fill up. And when you encounter a problem, you can easily know which part that you don't understand, right? Quite simple. But let's say if you want to try to learn on your own, what can you do? The first thing I advise the student to do is to make a summary of the notes, or even while the teacher is explaining something, you can make a summary out of it. You can make a diagram, just a simple one. Maybe even if it is wrong diagram, you can make first. Then later, after you ask your teacher, after you ask for explanation from other people, you might know that you're you're wrong. Then you can make correction, right? Then it might help you understand something. Even if after you make the summary and you still don't understand, it might help also because you can identify which portion of your teacher's explanation that you don't understand. Then you can ask the teacher again. Another way, which is quite not so common way of studying, is to explain the topic to other people, right? When you're learning from your teacher, maybe you understand maybe 20 or 30%. But if you try to explain it to people, then you take the your teacher's perspective, your teacher's point of view. So when uh, you kind of understand why the teacher explained to you that way, right? Then the paradox here is when you try to explain something, you yourself learn more compared with the with the friends that you try to explain to, right? Like, uh, you're going to learn more by explaining things, right? You can try, right? You will suddenly feel that, oh, I understand this thing. Yeah. Okay. That's the first problem, and as I mentioned, this is the easiest problem to solve compared with the other nine. The second possible way that you get bad result on your test is because you tend to forget the lesson. right? I have a lot of students come to me, then I explain. They know. I give them exercises. They can do it. I spend 1 hour explaining. Then they know they can do. I give them a more difficult question. They can do also, right? Then the next week they come. They forget everything. They forget everything. Yeah. Uh, then I have to explain again from the spend another 40 minutes something to explain. Otherwise, they cannot do the continue with the next lesson. Uh, so for if you encounter this type of problem, this is what I suggest you do. Number one, make a short revision daily. You don't have to something like maybe 5 minutes is good. You read the notes again. Another thing, the notes you can take notes, right? So if I say you spend 5 minutes revising the my lesson, is as maybe you just take a look on your WhatsApp because after your screenshot, then you put it on your WhatsApp, then you just read through it. It's 5 minutes. Maybe you want to take bus while you're waiting for the bus, you can read on it, right? Uh, Second method is uh, maybe during the lesson, I give you some questions to do, and you can do it. Then you can redo the same question, the exact same question, right? And you can type the notes on WhatsApp. Okay. So it's you must change your habit a bit to solve this type. Because a lot of students have this kind of difficulty, right? The third one, you understand the lesson, but you don't know how to apply what you learned in that lesson to answer the question in the exam. um, it's some students have this type of problem. Uh, they know the formulas, uh, they know the theory behind it. Then when it comes to the question, they don't know how to apply that, right? How to apply the formula and how to get the answer, right? And this is because uh, they focus so much on my explanation, but so that they don't know how to apply it. Okay. Then how to solve this problem? Quite simple. Uh, you must find more question that apply the theory or the formulas that you want to learn, and do it. You try to collect that question. So um, in the bookstore, they have mostly topical questions. So they group the question together by topics. Then you can try that. Then you can try that doing that questions, right? Another method which is more effective is by modifying the question. So let's say I give you a question for a certain topic, then you make the question yourself. You change, you modify. Maybe you change the certain number. You change the number. You change the variables, or you change certain part of the question, but it's still similar, right? Then you keep modifying until you feel comfortable with the similar type of question, right? So how you do. That's how you learn how to apply my lessons to the questions in the exam. Next is number 4. Quite common also. Students make careless mistake in the exam, right? Um, some questions are designed to trick you, and if you seldom do exercises, you will get tricked. That's why you need to do a lot of questions so that you know what trick they have, right? Uh, if you take the point of view of the teacher or the examiner who designed the question for your test, what happens here is that they want to basically they try to get you to make as much mistake as possible. Then one of them is to put a trick question in your exam, yeah, in your exam question, right? Then how do you do that? How do you solve this problem? How do you prevent yourself from making careless mistake, right? Number one, to make a list of trick question, right? So when you do the exercise, then you get the answer, then you check the answer key, then you know that it's wrong, then you find, yeah, then you find that you make a mistake. Then you try to identify, you try to categorize. Oh, the trick question. This you have this type of trick question. They trick me into using formula number 1 when I supposed to be using formula number 2. That's one way, right? And another way is to screenshot that trick question and put it, uh, group them together. Maybe if you use Google Drive, you can put it in your Google Drive, or maybe you put it on your WhatsApp. Yeah. Then you can uh, that way you can minimize the possibility of making a careless mistake in the exam. Yeah. Um, the next one is number 5. Um, another way that the examiner can try to make you lose mark is that they make a question that is actually quite simple, quite easy, right? But they're designed to make it very tedious so that it takes a long time for you to solve for that question. So for example, you have 10 questions. They put this type of question on question 2 or question number 2 or question number 3, so that you do that first. And when you do that, it takes a lot of your time. So even though if you get it correct, you you have less time to do the next question, and then you lose mark, right? Um, then you will get very angry after you finish the exam because you don't have enough time, right? Okay. Usually some students are doing this, like they spend so much time on one question because they seldom do exercises, right? Uh, so what I suggest is that you do time exercise. Maybe you time yourself doing exercises for the whole paper, and you time yourself. Maybe let's say the paper is supposed to be finished in 1.5 hours, in uh, 15 to 30 minutes earlier, right? So that you have enough time to check your answer, right? Another thing, uh, for the time management, the moment they give you the test paper, you should try to do the easy question first. So then you get your marks. For example, if question 2 or question 3 is a bit difficult or it takes a lot of time, skip that one first. Try to score as much as possible first at the early stage of the exam. Then later, near the end of the exam, then you spend more time doing the difficult question, right? Okay. So you won't forget about other questions. So they give you the paper, quickly uh, quickly do the easy question first. Yeah. Okay. Uh, it's best that you do maybe once a week. You do the whole paper. The whole paper. Maybe let's say if you're taking O level, then you take past paper O level, then you do the whole paper at one go. Then you time yourself. Or maybe you're taking IB, then get some IB past paper question. Do it at one go. But if you don't have enough time to do that, maybe you're busy on the certain. So you do question by question and you record the time, right? So by doing that, you will be aware of the time management. Number 6 is you make calculation mistakes, right? Maybe sometimes it's not even a trick question, but you forget something, you you do some mistake here and there, right? And some student, they consistently make a similar type of mistake, right? For example, I have one student who is always get confused between the plus minus sign. Like in mathematics, if you have a negative number and you square it, it's supposed to be a positive number, right? But she put it as negative number. Or maybe you get confused with the in chemistry you learn about exothermic and endothermic reaction. Then the enthalpy you don't know which one is positive or negative, right? And if you're consistently making that type of mistake, then you must record. Then you must be aware. Oh, usually I make this type of mistake. Then every time that type of question come up, then you remember. Oh, I usually I make mistake with a plus minus sign, right? Another one. This is very common also, right? In trigonometry, you're using calculator and you forget to convert between degree and radian mode. So the question give you in degree mode, then you forget, then you're using radian mode because you forget to convert it on your calculator, right? Okay, then you make a lot of mistake. Okay, sometimes between multiply also you get this, and logarithm also. Logarithm, like I give you logarithm, then you forget how to convert it into the group sign, right? That's then some student consistently make that kind of mistake. Then what you do, you record your mistake, right? And you do more exercise. So you will be having less of this mistake. Number 7, you forget to convert the units in your calculation, especially in physics, right? Or in chemistry also, you have this type of mistake. You're supposed to give your answer in cm cube, but you give it in meter cube, or the formula require you to use the volume in meter cube, but you put it in dm cube or cm cube. So you get it all wrong, then you lose the mark. And you're not alone. You're not the only one who make this kind of mistake. The tragedy of this Problem number 7 is that is sometimes it's quite expensive, right? And as I said, not only you, uh, even some smart scientists, they make this type of mistake. Uh, like even NASA, you know, the American Space Agency, they make this type of mistake. This is, they lose the rocket called the Mars Climate Orbiter. The rocket's supposed to orbit around Mars and collect data from the orbit, right? I read here, December 11. It's launched at December 11, 1998, and they lost it uh, in 1999, September, right? Okay. Uh, Let me read this. Read the. This is from their own website. Okay. From NASA's website. This is the, if you like to see it. This is the QR code. Yeah, the QR code for to get the article. Designed to study Mars from orbit and serve as communications relay for the Mars Polar Lander and deep space probes. The Mars Climate Orbiter was unsuccessful due to a navigation error caused by a failure to translate English units. Uh, Last contact with the spacecraft was on September 23rd, 1999. 10 months after the launch, and an investigation found that the spacecraft burned up in Mars atmosphere. So in US, they use the old English unit, yards, pounds, inches. Then they forget to convert to metric or SI unit because the Europeans they use metric just like what we have in Singapore. We use SI unit, right? Then they forget to convert it. Then it's quite expensive. It's 200 million plus. Yeah. So how to minimize this problem? How to avoid this? Uh, Put the units after you finish calculation. Make it a habit of writing the units. Actually, when you do calculation, you're not supposed to put the units inside. Like you have a formula, and you're putting numbers into that formula. You're not supposed to put numbers into that equation. Only after you finish calculation, the final result you give units, right? Okay, that's number 7. I'm going to discuss number 8 and 9 together, right? Because for some students, they have difficulty with languages, and they don't like to memorize things. I also don't like to memorize things, but you have to, right? You have to. This number 8 is that you miss certain keywords when you answer some theoretical question. Usually the question asks you for definitions, or usually the question asks you to explain certain rule or certain law in physics, like Newton's law or Archimedes' law, right? Then you miss the keyword. That is number 8. Number 9 is you use a wrong keyword, right? Then you don't use the correct term, then they mark you wrong. For this problem, there's no other way rather than memorizing it. And it's going to be tedious, it's going to be boring, but you have to do it. is you have to make a list of keywords. Maybe some students like to write it in their summary. Some students like to type it on their handphone, maybe on Google Drive, right? Or maybe on Google Doc. Another way is to collect theoretical question. So whenever they have a question on paper, then you take a picture out of it and put it inside your handphone, right? Okay. Then also make a list of definition. Maybe from your textbook, you try to collect them, right? Then you memorize. You try to memorize them, right? So boring, but it helps because some definition questions can be usually 2 or 3 marks, but you have it on on most of the question. Like every 2 or 3 questions, sometimes they ask you definition if you take physics or chemistry, right? Okay, for number 10, uh, oops. For number 10, I cannot help you with this. You must solve this problem yourself. The student gets sick. You were sick just before the exam. Maybe you're too tired. Maybe you're doing something heavy the day before. Then you cannot concentrate during the exam. So you lose a lot of marks. Or maybe you eat um, some spicy food, then you get sick, then it will affect, right? So what to do? You need to avoid risky exercises, right? Or you avoid doing strenuous activity before the exam. You take more rest, and long before the test, you do a lot of exercise so that you keep your body fit for the test, right? Okay, so you must do that. That's uh, all the 10 main reason, most common reason that usually I encounter why students lose mark and get bad test result, right? So uh, if you come to me, then uh, what I do is I will just try to minimize all this possibility, right? Uh, Maybe I give you some trick question so that you get used to it, right? So that you will not get tricked, right? And I'll try to find any mistakes here and there on your answer, right? That will help a lot. So good luck for your study, and please do better for your exam. I hope you enjoy the video. Still have problem with mathematics? Join my free online mathematics workshop every Sunday, 6 p.m. in US Pacific Standard Time and 9 p.m. in US Eastern Standard Time, 9 a.m. in Singapore. We will discuss AP Calculus and A-Level H2 Mathematics. The workshop is conducted on Sundays. To confirm the exact dates of the workshop, please scan this QR code or click the link in the comment section below. Drop me an email to book your place in the workshop. See you